if I were to look at it from the perspective of my more fundamentalist days, when I'm doing apologetics or when I'm trying to learn about the other side, I'm doing it because I want these people to come to Christ, and they have to do it in this life, and they have to accept and figure this out and do it right. Otherwise, they're going to perish. So when I'm learning about what they believe and it's causing me to doubt, I have to find a way to be like, oh, nope, they're wrong somehow. Shut that off. Shut that off. There's an answer here. And then whatever answer I find, no matter how obscure, I have to say, oh, yeah, I'll hold on to that. This is why. This is why sometimes you'll listen to Christian apologists and someone will pick apart their position. Then they'll find out the most obscure possible way it could still be true. Even though it's ludicrous, they'll hold on to it. Instead of just saying, you know what, that part might be wrong, because they have to. And I had to deconstruct the whole fear of hell as well, because that was holding me back from actually looking at stuff. And when I was doing that, I would go back and watch the old atheist debates. I would go back and read the other side more carefully. And I would think to myself, okay, let's imagine what they're saying is true. What will the world actually look like? And I started to actually appreciate what other atheists were saying. Before that, I would just think these are godless heathens. They are kind of just suppressing the truth. They're just trying to come up with an excuse. But then when I actually started to actually read it and be like, okay, I'm not afraid. I just want to look at the evidence. I started to really appreciate that there were actual good objections to issues in Christianity. And when I started to go down that road and actually just opening my eyes, it made me realize that there were a lot more problems than I thought before. One of the things that kind of upset me, so I said that I got into apologetics and I'd focus mostly on philosophy, but I used to take a lot of things for granted when it came to like the Bible and the history of the Bible and the resurrection and things like that. But when I started to look into it deeper, I started to realize that a lot of Christian apologists really overstate the case for the arguments. Mm-hmm. And I think that's really bad, because if you were to present the argument and be like, I think this is a good argument, and then someone finds a counter, they're not going to get knocked off so much. But the way that many apologists try to present arguments is, this proves it, this is so good, this is this. And then when you actually look at it, and I find actually it's more complicated than that, it does a disservice. And I think that a lot of us went through that when this apologetics we grew up on, we realized actually it's not as strong or as solid as we think it is. Like, you always feel like you were lied to.
Yes.
You had the wool pulled over your eyes. Like, they oversold you a product, and then you tried to use it. It's like, hey, it doesn't work that way. And they're like, it must be you.
Exactly.
Back in the day, I used to like the likes of Frank Turek back then, which, like, now it's like, no. But